We got some interesting updates on the Game Awards, new Ubisoft leaks, and way more gaming news to go over. So good that you're joining the weekly Sunday news roundup, and let's go. The Game Awards are getting close. On December 11th, the big show will happen. Last year we saw the reveals of The Witcher 4, Elden Ring Night Rain, Dispatch, Split Fiction, The Outer Worlds 2, Onimusha Way of the Sword, and also real first looks at Borderlands 4, Mafia the Old Country, and of course Intergalactic. So I think this year will be pretty big as well, and we now have some confirmations about things that will not be there and some things that will be there. I mentioned Intergalactic. Well, we should not expect a new look at that new Naughty Dog game at the Game Awards, and it also will not be coming out in 2026, if you ever at one point thought that. Well, it was pretty clear that Wolverine is going to be PlayStation's big holiday title. But we also know that Wolverine will not be at the Game Awards because PlayStation is saving a new look for spring 2026. I can see PlayStation showcase Saras here again, or use Jeff Keighley's stage to re-reveal Marathon, which has been getting positive buzz during recent closed alphas, and is still expected before April 2026, likely in February. Another game that will not be at the Game Awards is The Witcher 4 or anything from CD Projekt Red. Of course, The Witcher 4 is also still far away. The brand new Mass Effect-like sci-fi action RPG Exodus, though, has been confirmed for the show. The game doesn't have a release date yet, so maybe they will finally reveal that. After the success of the Silent Hill 2 remake, Blooper Team and Konami announced in June 2025 that the development of a Silent Hill 1 remake was underway, and now a major Spanish outlet reported that they've heard that the game will be fully revealed at the Game Awards. So that could be possible. A trademark for Control Resonant was filed. We've known about a Control sequel for a while, and this is also totally a Game Awards style reveal, so I believe we will see it there. Kojima, of course, is good friends with Jeff Keighley, and Death Stranding 2 was just rated for PC, which usually means a release is 3 months or so away. So I could totally see him reveal something at the show, since the game is obviously in the running for Game of the Year as well. I could see it dropping in January or February. We also learned this week from credible leaker Nate DeHate that Forza Horizon 6 is actually planned for the first half of 2026 instead of later in the year, so I could see a proper reveal at the Game Awards. And I've been saying it for a long time, but I also still expect the new Tomb Raider to be there. It has been in development for a long time at Crystal Dynamics, and we just got a new leak from someone who has reported on the project before. Of course, take it with a grain of salt, but still interesting to go over these details. They note that the game has been reworked to improve the characters. Lara is portrayed at her prime, her career's peak, hunting Ashoka's mythical weapons that grant conquest power. The open world, which I'm very excited about, features harsh deserts, cliffs, dense jungles, and icy mountains. I really hope we see this revealed. Ubisoft still has 2 big titles coming out in the first 3 months of 2026, but right now it seems that none of them will be at the Game Awards. One of those games is the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. A pitch deck from early 2024 actually leaked this week and revealed some interesting details, especially that Princess Farah is no longer just a support character, but now has a bow she can use to defend herself. There's also a big focus on parkour, which has been rebuilt from the ground up, and there should be 2 new locations added. I was hoping we would see it at the Game Awards, because then I could finally use some new footage when talking about this project, as this old trailer is obviously not what the game will look like now. But the Prince of Persia Twitter account has actually responded to the leaked pitch deck, noting that the game has changed so much since then and we can't wait to show it next year. So to me, this sounds like they will not re-reveal the game in 2025, but the rumored release date is Friday, January 16th, according to Tom Henderson, who has been right many times before. So it seems like Ubisoft might go for a shadow drop, similar to the successful strategy of the Oblivion remaster earlier this year, which could be interesting. Something they seemingly won't do for the other big remake they have planned for early 2026. The final week of March is the rumored date, likely March 26th or 27th. We now learned that this is the Black Flag remake, and that it might be called Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. A new piece of text was referencing that name in the recent Assassin's Creed Shadows update, so maybe that is the naming convention they will use for future remakes as well. If you were still not convinced that this remake is real, a developer has now listed it on their LinkedIn as found by YouTuber The Hidden One, and Tom Henderson noted that mid to late January is seemingly when they will reveal it, unless Jeff has it for the Game Awards. I think the chance that the Black Flag remake is at the Game Awards has increased a bit now that Prince of Persia seems absent, but we will see. We also got a bit more Ubisoft updates this week, as Deadline reports that Toby Wallace will play a co-lead role in the upcoming Assassin's Creed Netflix show. You may know him from The Bike Riders, and here you see some other projects he appeared in. Nexus Point chimed in with their sources, saying that the series will explore ancient Rome, featuring characters like Emperor Nero and Seneca, Nero's tutor, meaning that it should be set between 54 and 68 AD. I think it's smart of them to use a setting that has not been in the games before, giving them way more creative freedom, although they've already teased that there will likely be more than one setting in the first season. I really hope this turns out well, but I'm not convinced yet, of course, after the movie. We also learned this week about a Far Cry TV show, which I actually have higher hopes for, as it's being developed by Rob McElhenney, creator and star of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Noah Hawley, behind Fargo and more recently Alien Earth. This show is also planned as an anthology, so new cast and setting every season, similar to the games, and it will release on Hulu in the US and Disney Plus elsewhere. Again, I have a good feeling about the Far Cry show, not so much about the Assassin's Creed one. It's also being done by the person who did the Halo TV show, and I've not watched that, but I've not heard good stories about it either. We'll of course keep you up to date on everything regarding the Game Awards as well. Now let's go over way more gaming news. Leave a like, that would really help me out, and subscribe, because we post one of these big gaming news roundup videos every Sunday. Now time for quick shots, news stories I'll go over quickly. Sony recently had a state of play where they announced a special Japan language only digital PS5 model for around the $355, so that is far below the standard price. The PS5 wasn't doing too well in Sony's homeland, so they followed a similar strategy to what Nintendo did with the Switch 2, and just like with that system, it seems to be working. Sales have quadrupled with this new model. Why I think this interesting is because there are rumors that Sony wants to make the PlayStation 6 a cheaper to produce console, lowering the barrier to entry for people who still have not upgraded from the PS4. So them introducing this cheaper model in Japan now and immediately seeing success might be the first step in that direction. And now let me know what you think in the comments down below. In a recruitment post for Stellar Blade 2, developer Shift Up noted that the team is aiming for a release on various platforms, including consoles and PC. So it seems like they will go for a multi-platform launch instead of only PlayStation, potentially including Xbox or Switch 2 as well. This is not surprising, as the first game's PC port became the fastest selling PC version of a PlayStation exclusive ever, largely thanks to the people that bought it in China. It will still be a while before we see Stellar Blade 2. The first game was already great, but there's a lot of room for improvement, so I have high hopes for the sequel. Another sequel that seems to be in development is Destiny 3, according to Colony Deeks, who has leaked correct Bungie info before. It should still be far away though, likely 5 years, with Destiny 2 ending support 1 or 2 years before Destiny 3 should arrive, according to this leaker. While it would be a painful decision short term, it really seems like the right move for the long-term health of the franchise, because Destiny has been going rapidly downhill since the Final Shape expansion launched, and a full reset with better onboarding for new players might be the only thing that can save it. So going for a third game does seem smart. Time for the rumor roundup, where every week I look at the biggest leaks and rumors of the week and give stars, with 3 being I believe it and 1 meaning let's take this with a huge grain of salt. I already covered many rumors earlier in the video, but the one I want to highlight in this segment is the fact that a new Dead Rising is reportedly in development at Capcom, a sequel starring the original protagonist Frank West. This time it seems like he will head to Hollywood and battle it out in movie sets, which is always a really fun setting. The Dead Island 2 movie studio level immediately comes to mind. 3 stars for this one. It was first reported by Multiplayer First, and Video Game Chronicle corroborated the story, so I think it's happening. Capcom also did a deluxe remaster for the first game last year, so it all lines up. Let me know if you would want a new Dead Rising sequel in the comments down below. This coming week we've got a lot of new releases, including Marvel Cosmic Invasion, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond on Switch 2, and Assassin's Creed Shadows also launching on Switch 2, which looks great in the new footage that Ubisoft shared. The Star Wars Outlaws Switch 2 port was really good, so fingers crossed that it will be the same here. The PlayStation Plus Essential games will drop on Wednesday, including LEGO Horizon 1 year after release, Killing Floor 3 will be included, and a few other solid titles as well. You can set a reminder for my weekly Monday stream by clicking on the screen, where we go even deeper into the news. Hope to see you there. Subscribe, leave a like. I'll of course have another gaming news roundup video like this next Sunday. So see you then. Goodbye.